Hello and welcome to yet another edition of the Candle curriculum. And today we'll be reviewing what's behind me, entire green curriculum. Now, a quick review of what candle means to us. Candle is that light in the time when our children really need some basic skills. And what better than teach them these life skills all the way from United Nations? There are 10 life skills that these candle curriculum take you through. Along with the life skills, if you look at them, they are neatly divided into 13 themes. As a teacher, as an instructor, you can take one theme per month, but ideally we look at 3 weeks per theme. So ideally you're looking at 39 weeks to complete the entire curriculum, which corresponds with the school academic year. And probably the 40th week could be a community project. The community service goal number M, if you look at here, is also there. And each of these themes have 3 different activities integrated in it. So let's say just an example. If you take up goal number E, which is nation building, so you'll have 3 different activities in nation building that you as an instructor can take around. More importantly, these themes have an ultimate goal. What will you do after learning life skills, which is where we've integrated the sustainable development goals. And I'm sure having heard me, having been part of the Golden Sparrow and Sky education programs, you're completely aware of what these entire SDG 17 goals are. So let's dive into the first few of the indexes, the first few of our themes, and understand as an instructor, as a parent and a guardian, how would you teach and use these skills. The first theme is life skill. And the most important life skill perhaps is decision making. So we go through a decision making survey asking children, where do you make decisions? And if you are just like a normal human being, you are making a decision at the restaurant, at the mall, on phone, on Facebook, everywhere. Single most important skills we need is a decision making. It is said that as a grown-up adult, you probably are making 35,000 conscious decisions every day. A small exercise to work with children would be, come on, forget 35,000, write down 35 decisions you as a student make in a single day. The SDG tag that we associate with it are on quality education and peace and justice. Hopefully we'll make sure that the education is grounded and they use it for something smarter, better in life. 98% of students are not very good at making decisions. The idea of these books is more like using them as a framework. So you don't only read the book which students are shared with, you are a facilitator. You listen to these audio blogs, these lesson plannings, and you say, okay, what else can I do? So the questions you will ask them to do and talk about is, what is decision-making skill? What kind of models and trees do you use? And hopefully we'll take you through some of them. We speak about the programs. A simple decision in a football match or a cricket match is a toss of a coin. How much is probability and luck involved in it? What would you do if you had to take a decision? So you speak about these areas and you start asking them what you do. So here is, we are asking them to become Sherlock Holmes. On A2, we say, have eyes, see. A good decision maker is an observer. So, you can take any picture. I've taken a busy road at some point in Southeast Asia, but you can take up any, for that matter. You can make an enlarged picture. You can take a picture around. You can ask them to see around them. And then you ask some specific questions. What are the things you notice in the picture? Is this picture giving a representation of what time of the day it is? Probably, according to me, it's late evening. And understand there are no right and wrong answers. How about you taking a busy street picture and sharing it in a WhatsApp group or a Google Classroom or some platform that you use in your institution? Which city or country do you think this looks like? And when I suggested, look at the blue umbrellas, you don't see blue umbrellas in India. You don't see blue umbrellas rather in the Gulf. You see them a lot in, it could be Singapore, it could be Hong Kong, it could be somewhere in Malaysia. Why do you say that? Oh, I saw trams around. Make sure students can pinpoint few things. Well, this picture may not be the most beautiful representation. It's a picture in a book. You can, as I said, you can look at some of the busy streets in Hong Kong and Singapore and then do that. Conversations can long from these pictures to a lot more, and this will be just 1 week exercise that you're doing with your students. Well, my favorite exercise in decision making is this one. It's the London Tube. When I went to London, and trust me, one of the most important thing I had to learn was how do you go from Piccadilly, and then I wanted to know where Paddington is. essentially because of the Bear movie that we watch, right? The Paddington. But you can take another enlarged picture of the London metro train and you can look at a lot of things in the London metro train. If you're in Delhi, probably you will also have a similar colors in Delhi, India's very well established metro network. Or Mumbai, people know more about the local trains that they have. How many lines you see based on the color? What colors do you have? Where is the bank in the picture? How do you reach from the bank station to the Euston station? What stations cross the River Thames? And if you have played Scotland Yard, you know that there are these black tickets you can use to immediately join the, go through one bank of the river to another one. You can make questions around it. And all these decision making can also be very simple. Can you redraw the metro map? If you're in Mumbai, probably in my case, it would be the Harbour Line. And it's just one line, but can you tell me all the routes of, going from Seawoods all the way to, say, Mumbai Central or Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal? Or you could take a Virar local, anything that makes a child make decision. What do you think are the 5 areas you can improve in the local train or the public transport in your city? And I'm assuming you are talking about the city bunch of children. Let them come up with, or probably the app on the tickets. Why the ticket counters are so long? You can ask questions and you can take decisions. The idea is you allow them to make decisions and questions because life is all about making decisions. Finally, it's another interesting question that we thought about. We said, how about looking at the horses around? Oh, my daughter is a big horse fan. And we said, okay, look at some 3 or 4 horses. So there is a Mustang, which is calm, which is strength, is resilience, but it's a small horse. There is an Arabian stallion, and it is said every single horse in the world has Arabian stallion's blood. They're aggressive, they're strong, but they're very expensive. They Shire, the British Shire, they are gentle, but they're beautifully heavy, but they're really slow. They can probably pull a cart, not go on a race. And then you have the own Kathiawadi horses from Rajasthan or Gujarat. They're a little ill-mannered, but they're steady and they're local breed, resilient to a lot of diseases. Now, let's say Jack, who grew up in a stable, needs to take up horses to breed. Now, what kind of horses will be suited for what occasion? Participate in a grueling desert race. If you haven't watched the movie Hidalgo, I strongly suggest to use this movie as a part of your class, Hidalgo. Breeding at the stable. Which horse would you require to breed at a stable? Join a rally with loud drums and firecrackers. Probably you know the answer. Shire would be a horse out there. Qualify the Olympic horse draw, the equestrian event. Which horses? And if you don't know more about the horses, just Google it. You learn about it. And trust me, the idea is not right and wrong answers, but the decision that you arrive. How do you arrive at it? So I hope you enjoy this decision making. The entire precision, the time, the research that people have done is for you to talk to your student on these different areas where you make decisions on. Let's jump from one area to another. The newsmaker theme number 2, where the tag now is critical thinking. Another life skill, very important, and we still stick to quality education SDG goal. And now the goal is goal number 9, industry, innovation, infrastructure. Here, the innovations and the innovators are 2 amazingly powerful, popular, lovable scientists that have impacted our modern world. Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking. You can read far more than what is written here, but these will give you a snippet, an idea of how to go about it. Well, Albert Einstein, a man with crazy hair, was somehow synonymous with science, isn't it? If you ask anybody in the world, name a scientist, 9 out of 10 times, you'll get Albert Einstein's name. So what did he do? How much did his father encourage him? In fact, when he was 5 years old, his father bought a compass to him. Maybe, it's just an idea. You can start having conversation with your students that what did your parent gift you when you were this young? And say somewhere this is the reminiscence of what you become. For example, the Wright brothers, the father had given them a rubber band based airplane. And today we know them as the first people who flew a modern aircraft. So you can speak about Einstein's brain. Well, the brain, there's an anagram. If you rearrange Albert Einstein, you can talk about 10 elite brains. It's fun. Ask them if they can think about, they can find, maybe you can write 10 elite brains and then rearrange it to find Albert Einstein, if they can find the right words to it. It is said that Albert Einstein's brain was, was protected or whether preserved and people say that his brain has more Mars to it. And some people say he used the only person to use maximum amount of his brain power, but ideally it is the upbringing and the talent that he already had. His protege, you can call it, Stephen Hawking, our area, era scientist, is an amazing scientist. He is the one credited with the discovery of black holes, or at least he spoke a lot about black holes. And a movie that I strongly recommend, and when I say these movies, if you're watching it together, it's fun. You can have clippings of the movie called The Theory of Everything. It's an amazing Oscar-winning portrayal of Stephen Hawking. His book, A Brief History of in Time, is a book that covers topics like Big Bang and black holes I spoke about, and still after his death is a bestseller. Stephen Hawking again was talking about some amazing theories around it, and he did not let his crippleness, his handicap, become a hindrance in his research. Talk about other people who are handicapped and can word forward, but this is an idea that you don't have to be physically strong to create something new. You may not have the resource, the talent, the money, but if you have the will and the skills, you can go ahead. Read a lot about Stephen Hawking. As a part of the project, you can ask the students to make a PowerPoint presentation. Few of them share on Albert Einstein. If you can share on Stephen Hawking, and why not have a brilliant class debate? Who is a better scientist, Einstein or Hawking? I would love to be part of that particular research and debate in your class. What activities I can tell you, News Maker? Well, one was their research, the PowerPoint, and the debate. But as I always say, it can also go beyond. Scientists love data. So here is a pie chart and a data for you. So, for example, Earth is 1/3 land and 2/3 ocean. So there is a pie chart we created with blue, which is representing water, and green, that is representing earth, land. Why don't you make a pie chart from these? The most common gases found in the Milky Way galaxy. It's simple, but the idea is they're learning how to make pie charts, having fun with it. All you have to do is make a circle and see what percentage you can give to hydrogen, helium, oxygen, and carbon. Do your own stuff, do your calculation. Out of 10, what would you do? If you actually simply analyze it, 7, 2, 1, and 4 is actually very less, that will be actually less than 1, you can make that simple conversation. Or China in Olympics tally, and this is 2012 China Olympic tally. How would you make a pie chart to say what have China done? 38 gold, 31 silver, and 22 bronze, almost close to 100. How do you approximate something and make a pie chart? Is fun. You can give more data, throw more numbers. You never know how the new statisticians in your class will come up. One of my favorite statisticians is a man by the name of Hans Rosling. I spoke about him in the book Orange, and you can Google him and find out his TED Talk, Hans Rosling. Well, with another activity on critical thinking in Newsmakers, B6 is said, what could your favorite scientist movie be? Just speak about it. And then again, we ask you to convert that into a pie chart. Your TV shows, your movie, your food, and you can do a lot of these. So these are things you throw at your students. Each of them is an activity in itself. All right, tell us 10 movies and we'll see how many of you like it. It could be a voting system or simply think food. So let's put what are the most popular breakfast food, and you need to get 5 and ask students to vote on it. Or is it South Indian idli dosa, or is it muesli and cereals that you can, or chocos perhaps, or is it your plain wheat roti, or is it misal pav as in Mumbai we do, or is it bun maska? Anything. The idea is conversations around something and convert it into data. They say data is the king today. What better way to encourage your children on data with small activities and games like this? Well, then how do we talk about science and not talk about mission to Jupiter? Well, Mars is almost there. Elon Musk has gone to Mars by the time I speak to you. So we created a new research now. JupyFly is a research yet unpredictable program that is NASA's dream to reach Jupiter, right? Now you are the director at NASA. Wow, that's fun. And we are having some conversations with you on what are you going to do about it. So what areas are your priority? What space movies to watch? Well, you can talk about Martian, you can talk about Gravity, you can talk Interstellar. What are the astronauts that you can think of? Oh, the only ones that come is Neil Armstrong. How about Yuri Gagarin? How about Kalpana Chawla? How about Serena, is that Serena Williams? It's Sunita Williams. How about, Valentina Tereshkova? Some names that you can think of. Dennis Tito is the first space tourist. Write down these names as I rattle them off. But the idea is you do your research. And I was doing something on boxing with my students. Trust me, the only boxer I know is Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. And there's this Amir Khan, not Dangal one, in UK. I asked the students and they gave me 10 more names. That's what a good teacher does. A teacher extracts answers from the students rather than being the encyclopedia that you expect yourself to be. No, you don't have to be Wikipedia today. All you have to do is make a relationship. Well, more interestingly, what will be a choice of fuel? Oxygen, food, and water. How would you carry them? In case of an alien invasion, what will you do? Some fun, interesting facts. They can draw a Jupiter fly. How does it look like? You can speak about Jupiter. What is the moon of the Jupiter called? By the way, all those Thanos fans, Thanos lives on Titan, which is on the moon of Jupiter. Speak about the atmosphere in Titan, and we'll have a great time talking about all of these fun facts. Well, these are some of the space movies for you, and we're still not done on space. You can have a class vote. Which one did you watch? Which one would you want to watch? And which one do you think you will like it? You have a lot of data, a lot of content is given for you. And I try to make it less, and people complain there is no content, but I can speak hours only on these pages. There is this Sandra Bullock on Gravity right there on the extreme left here. There is Martian and Matt Damon, and this is an actor I do not know, but it's from the Star Wars series. So you can speak a lot about it. By the way, we are watching a series called Mandalorian, and Mandalorian is fun. There's little baby Yoda, and it's a great series to talk about it. So all the best with everything you do in and around the space theme. This will be the final session of the third theme in this green book, and something that is so relevant to the SDGs. The theme is environment, and we're going to talk about carbon footprints. Of course, carbon footprint about us. So the skill tag that is self-awareness, and the SDG tag is anything to the environment. And this is goal number 13, climate action, and goal number 14, life underwater. Or you can also add goal number 15 for that matter. First, what is a carbon footprint? When you put your digital footprints, when you do anything online, you get digital footprint. When you walk with wet sand, you have your footprint. When you use a fossil fuel, when you use an electricity or a source of it, when you release CO2, that is called carbon footprint. So anything you do around it, a carbon footprint which is large is bad for the planet. So, you can look at the equivalent amount of what is happening in the world, where are we using it, which countries use carbon footprint, and you can deduce it. It's something you must learn a lot, teach about it. Why is CO2 so bad? Why are trees so important? Very basic conversation. And ideally, the book itself is green, so it's a great conversation to have, and we can speak about it. What's your personal carbon footprint? So areas you do. If you drive in a car, your carbon footprint is bigger. If you take a public transport, it's smaller. If you WHF, work from home, it's even less. But you're using internet, right? The more you use electricity, the more you use air conditioner, that is very dangerous. Your refrigerator, well, of course. Your microwave, definitely. So these are areas of carbon footprint we talk about it. So you can look at a lot of it. Plastic bags require carbon footprint. So does plastic bottles. Can we shun plastic? Your computer, as I'm speaking about it, internet, all of these are using carbon footprint. So why don't you make a personal carbon footprint chart and see all the areas where you can reduce the carbon footprint? For example, one great exercise to do is, let's say some people go to office and all of us commute to office. How about carpooling? Carpooling is, same way, where instead of having 4 people taking 4 cars, why can't one person pick everybody up and take 1 car one day? So I take my car on Monday, and the next time my turn will come after 3 days, the 4th day, and then I come again. It's a great concept. Why don't you bring it together? In a lot of co-working spaces, people carpool, and it's fun, it's great, and where you are actually saving the planet. This is real work. Why don't you as a class propose one of the carpooling suggestions? Well, my exercise, and there's so many things I spoke about it. One simple carpooling exercise is energy is power. So you have a lot of pictures out there. Mark them R for renewable and NR for non-renewable. And I'm sure you know about this in the previous books of Candle, but simple thing, a solar energy is renewable. A battery that you use in a mobile phone or in some other area like a toy is non-renewable sources. Also, one very interesting exercise I love to do, and I've done that in Violet as well, is about transformers. These are these, Autobots, the car bots, you can call them, which becomes into robots. How many transformers can you name, and what are you thinking about it? Are they really the future of our cars? Do you think really transformers can exist? Will they reduce the carbon footprint or increase the carbon footprint? Wonderfully, as always, you can always show a clip, a movie, a kind of an idea of what transformers can do, and your conversations can go beyond that into this whole sphere. So these are the first three themes of the Candle book. I will do another series on the blog, and we'll continue with the current series into entire Candle Green. Until then, all the best. Good luck with your students. Hope you enjoy this entire life skill program.